Without coming up with an alternative, I hope you get a hold of that. Ladies and gentlemen.
You know, my greatest joy is that I get to be the lead Republican to hold this president accountable. I just never knew that I would be understaffed in the job. Well, Rick said to come up and say a few words. First of all, I want to thank you because, in fact, it's the grassroots movements. It's people who simply, without being paid by the government or some special interest group, come out and care about America enough to say, it's our country, we won't let it go without a fight.
A lot of them have access to health care. They're younger, just like when we were younger, we were 10 feet tall and bulletproof, right? We didn't need that 30 bucks coming out of my check. You know, that's gas. Whatever it happens to be. You know, when you break the number, is that they're uninsured for 2 years or more, right? Between jobs, whatever. You want to scrap everything and start all over again, Mr. Obama? That's like driving a brand new 2000. Just fix the tire. All right. I told you, it's not about health care. It's about an overreach by a socialist government to see how far. Please welcome him on stage.
Hello, I'm here to talk to you about this proposed ballot measure, and you can 1997. That's how long we've had this problem. We were waiting patiently for Congress to do something, but we know it's not going to happen. It's going to have to come from the people first, and it's going to have to come through changes in the birth certificate laws. Let me read you what Congressman Bill Gray said lately. Heading this state toward bankruptcy. What the state tells us is that $1 a year. It's a lot more than that. They are not talking about it's $2.8 to $3.5 billion to you, the taxpayers, every year. The people who are here unlawfully represent 6% of the population, but they're having
187.
187! Get some commie judges.
We've used the exact same language as in Oklahoma, which has already been upheld in district court, so we're on very strong ground to get those, which is telling you. And the big one, which the state has told us is going to save us $1 billion a year, is this program called the Child Only is going to be eliminated. All of those parents have other options. Let me tell you, I've had conservative radio talk show hosts start crying about that one, but let me tell you, there are a lot of states that don't even legally for their child for 18 years. That's exactly what's going on in this state. The time is coming. Get out behind your computer. You're not going to solve the problem that way. It's getting out on the street and talking to your fellow citizen, your fellow voter, and that is how we're going to win this ballot measure. Thank you very much.
Gotta get involved. What was it, Biden? What was it Biden was talking about when he was being interviewed? Was it Chris that was getting the tinkle up his leg or whatever it was? No, it was Biden. It was, you want to increase tax on paying the bills? What's he talking about being patriotic? You know, Biden and Obama need to learn things. Then it came under attack. It's up to you to protect it. All right. Dr. Gonzalez is a board-certified anesthesiologist who actively practices medicine right now.
Big things were happening in the 1940s. First, we found the clinical application of penicillin. This was very important because when we discovered the clinical application of penicillin, people were able to recover from diseases that were previously fatal, and it opened up new surgical techniques which improved people's quality of life. Another interesting thing was going on in the 1940s, a little war called World War II, was to offer this new little thing called health insurance. Health insurance was a deduction to the employer, and it was a free benefit to the person that received it. It's the thing we have to a public option, and that's what they want to model. The reason we had Medicare is because when we came out of World War II, most workers were insured. They had health insurance. Medicare passed, the Congress basically said, we're going to do something that the private insurers are no longer doing. You see, by this time, by 1965, if we want to keep Medicare, what's the best way to keep it running if it has cost overruns? Print more money, well, that works. The best way to keep it running is to simply pay less. Rather than dealing with the demand side of things, balance on the backs of your physicians and their staffs and the people that they support. Despite less than $1 in $5 going in this direction, that is where all of the cuts were made. And that's very important, right? Right now, Congress is accountable for Medicare. They're accountable to you for what they are doing with Medicare. But they want to remove that authority from Congress because President Obama needs to do something. And that is cut $500 billion out of the Medicare budget, while our senior population simultaneously increases by over 30 together. If you have private insurance, you are paying, and your family of four, you are paying $1,800 extra dollars. They say if the United States would have adopted the same model for Medicare at that same time period, they would have saved over $550 billion, enough to cover everybody that's uninsured. Which is very important because health insurance reform, we have to change things. What's the very first thing we need to do? Keep the feds out of the doctor's office. Yeah. Number two, expense. It will increase the competition. And then the final thing we need to do is open up an insurance exchange where you can go with your tax credits and you can at least get some type of a catastrophic policy so that you can have some type of coverage, and you should be able to shop every darn one of those insurance companies.
That pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Stop taxing us. That's about as direct as you can get. I told Sean to pick out 3 signs that catch his eye. If you've got the sign, come on down and get this t-shirt. All right, Sean, this is the big deal. You get the microphone, tell us which sign.
Freedom, innocence, free, God bless the USA.
The only good
Isn't it
president
nice to
we've
see
had in
a
our
good
lifetime.
parent raising a good son. Isn't that right? All right. Gubernatorial.
I want to thank the Marine Corps veteran, David, who made those words now famous. But I also want to thank every military veteran, every current active soldier and law enforcement that helps protect our sovereignty. But we can tackle it. Let me tell you something. If I am elected, I will make sure that we wrangle the
And thoughts. And as Congressman McClintock said, so folks, once again,
Republican Assembly candidate for the 77th District, please welcome Christine Rubin.
And the sole responsibility to regulate our banks and control our currency. That's in Section 8 of the Constitution. They can't go and say the banks did it. This is grassroots. This is the people. This is what everyone is afraid of. This is what the Congress is afraid of. Yeah, I've been saying that.